10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to everybody who's been watching LAJA TV. We are in season 3 and it's a joy to be back. It's a joy to be back because LAJA TV means a lot to me and to the entire team at LAJA. LAJA TV is here to showcase some absolutely inspiring women, some absolutely inspiring influencers from across streams, from across segments, from across the country, you can say. So, for all those of you who are new to Laja, let me tell you a little bit about Laja. Laja is a forum for women, by women, with women, and this was started in 2014. And ever since, we've been working towards the development and empowerment of women. And why do we focus on development more than empowerment? Because we believe that women are already empowered. We've been doing multiple roles and handling so many responsibilities, and we do it with ease. What we lack, or what stops us from achieving more than we can, is the lack of acknowledgement, the lack of appreciation, the lack of encouragement. I think if we have all of these three, then we can rule the world. And yes, we believe that we are here because of the men also, because without supporting men, we wouldn't be able to get this far. So, a huge shout out to all the men who support us, and a huge, massive shout out to all the women who are doing exceptionally well in their field. Now, who is today's guest? Today's guest is a wonderful lady, somebody who we met at another forum, and somebody who completely blew us away with her work, with what she's been doing. And although she's a very humble lady, she kept, she told me that, you people have put me under pressure with the kind of introductions you've been giving me about me, but I think it's well deserved. So before I bring her on screen, let me tell you about our guest. Our guest today is Nanni Singh. She is the founder and chief executive of Showcase Events and has been in the events industry for over 15 years. She is a curator and executor of the Kasoli Rhythm and Blues Music Festival and its other editions. She's also the co curator and producer of the one of a kind, award winning folk musical production Sounds from the Desert. So, we'll be hearing a little bit more about these productions and what they do, what the aim is. But going forward, Nani has consistently been bringing to the fore and promoting folk and independent artists through a series called Artist Showcase. Additionally, she has also been promoting Indian musical art forms through Lek Dem performance series in conversation. She is also a guest columnist with the Business World's Everything Experiential and closely connected with the Genesis Foundation and the Telesmix India Foundation. She'll tell us a little bit more about that. So, yes, without any further ado, let me bring Nani on screen. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Vandana. I mean, for this really, really generous introduction. I'm like, I can't believe that, but thank you so much. Really appreciate.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you here. One is because we ended last season with a wonderful guest, Dr. Anuradha Pal, who's been talking about music and who's been trying to promote its reach across the country. So, having met you through her, we wanted to continue, start off the new edition with somebody on a musical note. So, tell us a little bit more about the work that you're doing for folk artists. Uh, and why are you doing it?
Okay, I think the signal there is definitely an issue because I just saw that I was getting stuck and then you were getting stuck for me.
Okay.
So let's catch it. Let's catch it while it's still on. So, yes,
Yes.
so just taking it back to a little bit about my life and how I've been so involved with music, etc. And my heart used to reach out to artists. If you were not an A-lister, or you were not a Bollywood artist. I mean, they really had, they were struggling, they were pushing themselves around to have a presence. Folk as such has always been undervalued, underestimated in our country for some very sad reason, given that that is the bed and the base of all music typically, and that is our rich cultural heritage. So why are we not valuing it? Why are we not bringing it out? So that is when we
Absolutely.
decided that we yeah, so that's when we decided that we had to do something where we could give these folk. See, it doesn't help to get the folk artists commercializing their art form. We're going to lose out on the authentic folk sounds that we have. We're going to lose out on those instruments. They're capable of so much more. Why are we trying to just commercialize sound and throw it out? So that is what inspired us to start getting into this, to basically with the pure intent of making these folk artists sustainable and actually the art form sustainable. And the only way you can make it any art form sustainable is by helping and supporting the artist become sustainable. So that's how we started, Vandana, and our journey started. And of course, because I was so embedded into music, I was doing fundraising events for the Genesis Foundation, another excellent charity. And so that's how the Kasoli Rhythm and Blues Festival happened, by virtue of which I got in touch with a lot of artists and they became really good friends. So, that kind of gave me an absolute insight into the music industry. And the whole intent of that festival was to give a platform for independent musicians. And that's what I tried to stay pure
Okay.
to that till quite a late stage, till we realized that the moment you got one Bollywood act, all your tickets were sold out. So, it's unfortunate, but in our
Yes.
country that that is there still. But not that I'm against Bollywood. I think it's fantastic music. But typically, it doesn't need that much of promotion as the independent music does. And so yeah, and then thereafter, then my co-curator Atul Churamani and me, we thought of creating a pure folk production because we realized there wasn't really anything like that, and that is how I'm just giving you a bit of a genesis of the productions that you
Oh,
spoke about.
yes, please.
So, so we realized that typically in our country, we've got a lot of folk music. Like I mean, we've got a lot of talent. So जैसे कहते हैं ना कि एक कदम चलो पत्थर उठाओगे तो musician बैठा है. Either there'll be a singer, there'll be an instrumentalist, there'll be something or the other. You'll find some talent. So we felt that let's create a production which stands as one standalone representation of that state's folk music and folk culture. And we started with Rajasthan, particularly because Rajasthan is very popular when it comes to folk. So we said, let's
Yes.
start with something which people are kind of familiar with and thereafter move into the other states. And I have to say that it got a very good reception. In fact, we got the award as well, like within the first year of its production. And so it's like a theatrical show, it's a complete musical production, one thing, it's like a complete storyline. So it got a good reception, and then now our Punjab and Assam was ready, but then of course with the pandemic and COVID we couldn't
Pandemic.
continue. Yeah, so we are hoping that once things open up, we will be presenting. Punjab, of course, is almost ready for us. So that was the folk production, and then of course we realized that through the pandemic, the artists were kind of dying. Poor things, they don't know anything better than music, right? So they
Absolutely.
needed that support, and sending them a check of 5,000 or a bank transfer of 5,000 was not the most helpful thing to do. So we felt probably it was better to promote them, to give them an opportunity where people would hear them, people would get to know about them, and that they could start some kind of classes. We handheld them, taught them how they could use their smartphones better, so that make them sustainable by making them independent of their own whatever infrastructure they had. And yes, that's how we had Sharing Love and Hope series, and we had art in conversations, and then we moved on to Artist Showcase, which is again a pure platform. I don't know, Vandana, if I'm stuck in Frozen or
No, no, I think the network is acting up a little bit today,
yeah,
which is very funny. But nonetheless, we shall carry on. So, this is wonderful work that you're doing. And like you said, during this pandemic, I think the folk artists were affected the most because
yeah,
one is while the rest of the world caught up with technology and started going all out with music, and I think a lot of new artists were able to establish themselves on the other platforms like OTT platforms, and a lot of things. And our folk artists were still struggling because, yes, one is they don't have access to technology, and second is they are not so
They're not
much in
tech
tune with.
savvy. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
um,
see, a lot of
so
them are not educated also, Vandana. So, I mean, whenever
yes,
all their messages, they come as, they all have this best of smartphones, but their messages come as voice notes because they can't read and write. So then we had to teach
yeah,
them how to like swipe, and this is how you can set up a classroom. You can start taking lessons, get money into your Paytm. So a lot of it's an interesting
yeah.
thing, but the point is that some, like, I think a lot of us were doing it. Many people in the industry were doing this.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me, since we're focusing on women, and we want to talk about how we develop women. What is the kind of uh, you know uh, struggles that a woman as a folk artist had? Because technology, yes, is a big thing, but again we come to a stage where these kind of smartphones are not accessible to these women, because obviously if the
True.
man is a breadwinner, he has it. So what can be done for these kind of people?
So, Vanda, you brought up a very important point because typically all the folk artists are very traditional families. They don't have a modern mindset at all. In fact, if you're going to Rajasthan, when even if you're going to Punjab, you're going to Himachal, they don't allow the women to come on stage. They don't allow the
Oh,
women to come in front because they want them कि आप पीछे रहो, चूल्हा चाका whatever that, right? So वो करो, आप खाना बनाओ, वो सब करो, but don't come आगे because this is a man's world, and we guys have to be in front, etc. So when it came to the women folk artists, it was very challenging for them because exactly like you said, one, they didn't have access to a lot of stuff. A few of them sailed out, like, I mean, some of them who have kind of broken the conventions a little bit, and they kind of stood up
hmm.
on their feet. Most others gave up. They just gave up. They gave up whatever they were doing. They gave up their music. They gave up their singing. They kind of just absorbed themselves into the households because there wasn't any option. At least earlier, there was a show somewhere, they would travel, so that would give
They
them
could.
that little break. Everything stopped. So a lot of them reconciled and they kind of gave up, which is very sad because look at it this way, we've lost out on a lot of talent. And it's not just for the folk, even in the case of independent artists. It's been the biggest struggle for them.
Absolutely. We have people joining in. We have Riddhi, who's the founder of Laja, who's saying that it's very unfortunate. And we have another Laja member who says that, we talk about women empowerment in the real world, whereas it's different at the grassroots level. And the sad part about all of this is that we all know it, and yet we can't do much about it. Mm, Tell me something.
No,
If
we
we
can.
try
We
and,
can. We can
okay,
do a lot about. There's a lot that we can do.
oh,
Honestly, as women, and this is a platform, I would like to take this opportunity to say this. We as women need to empower other women. The saddest part
absolutely.
is that we as women are so jealous that we instead of empowering them, we kind of, get into this competitiveness. Why?
Why?
Empower each other, grow together. I'm sure there's no question. Not, we don't need anybody's endorsements. We don't need we and when I say anybody, I'm really not talking about a male or a female. I'm talking about you as a person, as a
As a
woman,
person.
as an
True.
individual. You don't need it. You've got your skill set. Empower yourself and take that skill set forward. Don't look for endorsements because who's giving you the endorsement at the end of the day? That's just another human being. Do you need that
Yes.
other human being's endorsement? No. Because if you have done something,
If
you have beaten the traditions, you have accomplished that in your life. Let that
true,
person reach
true.
that level of accomplishment, then we'll have a conversation.
Have this
Then I'm willing to
conversation.
listen to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the problem here is we short sell ourselves. So,
Yes.
which is where we look
Absolutely.
for validation in others. And
Yeah,
I don't know
why?
whether it's yeah, I don't know whether it's the mindset that we carry or the upbringing that we have, but yes, change is important, change is necessary. I was just thinking, what when these, especially when you talk about folk artists and folk music, would it make a difference if we, pitch these to educational institutes and have folk as a part of our curriculum also?
It'll be excellent actually because I remember this was just a little before the pandemic. In fact, I'd gone to Chandigarh and I met up with a couple of schools. And I said, you know what, your students, I don't even think, forget about the other instruments, but they won't even know the local Punjabi folk instruments, right? I'm getting you a khartal. I said, let me hear any of your students even tell me what is it called. So why don't we do these kind of sessions for your students? Get two or three artists with specific instruments. These are all handcrafted instruments. They will all die. These children won't even know the original sounds of these instruments because everything is getting digitized. And unfortunately, the digitized sounds cannot match up to the original sounds. The purity of the original sound is another level. So allow us
Absolutely.
to bring these artists to your schools. Let the children experience, feel the instrument. We will bring extra instruments. Let them play it with the artist. Let them buy the instrument from the artist, take it home. Make it like a little event for the schools. I think it's very, very important if we can somehow bring this into the curriculum, into their Friday sessions, even for corporates for that matter. We've been saying that as well. I think it's just very
Yes.
important for people to be introduced to your grassroots. We are losing our connect with our own grass, with our own Mother Earth,
Yes.
with our own country's traditions. Come on. I
Absolutely.
mean,
So actually, all of you who are listening to this and who have tuned in and who will probably listen to us later, maybe this is something that you can do. Reach out to your corporates, your schools. Yeah, most of us have children, so our children are going to school. So maybe, if you are so keen, connect with us. We'll, somehow connect with Nani, and probably we can all work something out as long as we give that, a chance to our folk, our roots.
certainly.
Like you said, this is our roots, we need to do something for that. We have Nivedita who's saying, absolutely agree, we are empowered but fail to acknowledge it. So true, coming
Yeah,
to your earlier point, Nani. uh,
absolutely.
we are we are busy aping the Western world. Yes, I think a guitar, any child in any, you, even in the rural areas, if you go to the down to the villages, any small boy there would know what a guitar is. But
But
the instrument that
Vandana,
you spoke about.
I'll say one thing for sure. When we're talking about aping the Western world, there is nothing wrong in it. But use
Yeah.
it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. You don't have to ape blindly without thinking. Use it to your advantage. If you're using the guitar, use it to your advantage. Bring in with another instrument. You do a folk song with the guitar. Watch the sound that you create, because at the end of the day you have to blend in with the millennials, right? They are the ones that are going to take our
Yes.
heritage forward. So how is that going to
Yes.
happen if we can make these things sustainable? The only way, and contemporize the sounds, contemporize these things, models. So it's fine, but the point is, absorb it, ape it in a way that you are not succumbing, and you're not becoming a slave to the West. You are empowering your own self by taking it and bringing it along and empowering your own music. I think that's really
Absolutely.
important. So there's nothing wrong with any culture. Trust me on that one. There's nothing wrong with any culture, any art form, any artist, any musician, any tradition. Nothing wrong. It is just how we respond to it and how we react to it. It is totally individual.
Absolutely. As you were talking about all of this, I was trying to go over, the instruments that I know of. And I think I got stuck at the veena and the sitar. I couldn't think of anything more than that, because that's how we
So
are, attuned to these things. uh, it's so
तबला,
true, we have so
हारमोनियम,
many
वीणा,
instruments.
सितार, सरोद, बांसुरी, बस उससे सारंगी,
Yes.
बहुत एक्सेप्शनल सारंगी. उससे आगे आप बताइए what all there is in our country. There is just so
Absolutely.
much. There is so much.
Yes, there is so much, and there is so much we can do also for this. Uh, if you, you're already doing work in this area, but if there was one thing that you wanted to scream out really loud and have somebody listen to you and take action, what would that be? This is, I'm talking in terms of the work that you're doing.
Okay. So I don't know if this will make sense, but I just feel very strongly follow your passion. Be sincere about it. Okay. If you are so into music, follow it with sincerity. And take whatever you're doing, take that to the next level. Have confidence in what you're doing. If you don't have confidence in your own self, don't trust the world to have confidence in you. You can't do it. And I think as women, because this is a women centric platform, I would really say that as women, I think we really need to take a strong control of our own lives. Look at us. We
Yes.
multitask. We can, I mean, we manage the house, we manage the work, we manage the outside, inside, the kids. I mean, we are a wife, we are a mother, we are a friend. I mean, a daughter, daughter-in-law, everything. We like total like one package that we are, right? But then
Yes.
the point is that take it forward. Now, if you are passionate about music, penetrate to the roots. Do something which
Yes.
can give an impact, can make an impact, it can help somebody, it can leave an impact in somebody's life. Do something that can make an impact. Don't just let it die. Don't let things die. That's my humble request to everyone. First of all, believe in
Lovely.
yourself and don't let anything die.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Nani, if we have to, whatever you're planning next for, when it comes to folk artists or comes to music, what is the next big thing that you're going to do now that the lockdown is getting lifted and people are going about their regular lives? So what is the next big thing that you're going to be doing?
Follow me on my socials and you will know.
Yes,
No, so
we will definitely.
we just finished with Synthesis. I don't know if you're aware of that. It was a 16 artist musical production which we did totally virtually.
Yes,
It just won the Global Music Award. In fact, happy to share that.
yes.
And so that,
Congratulations.
thank you. So that, of course, all the congratulations go to the artist, the lyricist, the composer, everybody. I mean, they really everybody put themselves out. But point is that everything is possible. So right now, our two curations which are almost ready, and for Punjab and for Assam. So we are just looking forward to just getting them rolling and out on the, on the stage. So yeah, I mean, there's lots and lots of exciting music, and of course, I mean, we keep doing a lot of stuff on music. And every Wednesday, actually, now it's not every Wednesday because we did a set of 40 shows, and now it is that
Mm-hmm.
whenever so artists are reaching out, so we actually vet the artists before putting them on the stage, and it's a platform that we've created just for the artists, and it's
Okay.
performing arts. It could even be Western. It doesn't matter as long as it's like
Mm-hmm.
pure performing art. So we have a few artists lined up. So every Wednesday, 7 to 7:30 p.m., we do this artist showcase, and
Okay.
so yeah, so that's virtual for now. We are hoping that once things open up and we are able to bring these artists and give them a live stage as well at some stage.
Cool. So this is on showcase events on the Facebook page. Can we catch this there?
Yes, you can. Showcase event, Showcase Studio. Showcase Studio is the platform where we do all the streaming from. So you can go there.
Okay.
All the shows are sitting over there. There are lots and lots of shows you'll find over there. Our In Conversations are there. Our artist showcase is there. Or you can go to our YouTube channel as well. Showcase Events YouTube
Lovely.
channel and Showcase Studio YouTube channel. Everything is sitting over there.
Lovely. We will make it a point to subscribe and follow that. One
Good.
question
Please
that
do.
yes, in your profile, there is this thing which you're doing with Thalsamics India. So, what is the work you're doing there? And I hope I got the pronunciation right because I've been
Thanks.
practicing.
No, no, you've done a good job. It's absolutely right. So that it's Thalassemics India, and it's a society. It's one of the oldest societies in India, and it's particularly for the care and care of thalassemia patients and their families. So we have an executive board over there, and part of the executive. So we basically handhold thalassemia children, counsel them, especially when they're new parents who've just had a thalassemic child, and so it's like basically, although we have an executive, we've got certain areas of work that all of us take care of, but as a team, we do
Mm-hmm.
everything together. So there are a lot of
Okay.
knowledge sessions we have. We do international conferences, we do fundraisers. So Jackie Shroff is our brand ambassador, in fact, and so we've had some very good moments with him, and he's been brilliant. Absolutely, he brought us onto KBC, and now I think it's IGT, India's Got Talent. Also, he's taking us on there. So it's basically to spread awareness because thalassemia is a preventable
Yes,
blood disorder. So it's to spread awareness that, for God's sake, don't put your child and your life through trauma. It's a lifelong trauma. So there's no question about it. So
absolutely.
yeah, so that's
Absolutely.
what.
So wonderful work that you're doing in music and in other fields too. So it has been a wonderful conversation with you. But I will pick one last question from one of our viewers. She says, "We go through a lot of ups and downs when we disrupt. Is there any resilience mantra that you would suggest?"
I totally agree with you. It's very easy to stay optimistic, stay positive. That's the standard thing everybody says when you're little low, you're little out. Don't think of the worst, stay positive. But the person who's going through it at that point of time is impossible to stay positive because any trauma, all negative thoughts come into your head, whether it's a depression, whether it's an illness, it's somebody close to you, or anything at all, right? So there is actually no remedy, there is no therapy, there is no one pill works for all. Everybody has to find their own path out of that thing. And honestly, if you ask me, you have to make yourself strong from within you. The stronger you are, you have to create that firewall around you and not let these things come and impact you. That is the only way. You have to start detaching yourself, because I'll tell you what, whenever we bring in any resilience, any change in our lives, right? There is always this entire cloud of you know impact, and that is just to thram us out of, like, okay, am I doing the right thing, am I not doing the right thing, should I think like
Hmm.
that, not think like that? So just make yourself strong from within. Trust me, have confidence on yourselves, because you can kill it. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's totally up to you. It's in your hands. So I don't know, Nivedita, if that answers
Lovely.
your question. I'm sorry, I'm not an inspirational or motivational speaker, but this is a
Oh
mantra
no,
that
do
works for me. That's what works for me.
it. You know what we believe in is every encounter that you have with whoever you meet, you learn something. So whether it is a good or the bad, so if it's a good, then you know that it's a lifelong learning for you, and if it's a bad, then you know that this the next time I shouldn't be doing this. So every
Learn out of
person by
everything.
themselves, yes, is an inspiration. So please don't say that you're not an
No.
inspiring individual. You are. And the kind of work that you're doing, and all that we have spoken about is amazing. So what I will do is I will share your the YouTube studio links and all of that. People who can, let's subscribe and let's help as many folk artists as possible. That is the least that we can do to keep our heritage, our culture alive. And thank you so much, Nani Singh, for making time for us, and gracing this platform, the very first of this season. Thank you so much. Nivedita says thank you. I think this firewall becomes stronger with experience. So
It
thank
does,
you so
Nivedita.
much.
I have to say that it actually works. Trust me on this one, but it's never too late to start. So start now.
Yes.
Start now.
Yes.
It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is experience. Definitely, I have to say it's each other's experience also that helps us grow. So make the effort and do
Absolutely.
it. But thank you so much, Vandana, for
Abs-
having me here. It's been a pleasure talking to you and talking to everyone else. And yes, we are always there anytime. Anything we can do for you. I just hope I managed to do it some justice today to the
yes, you
session. But
did. You did. Thank you so much.
uh,
Thank you for gracing our platform.
thank you for having me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So, yes, folks, that was a wonderful Nani Singh. And she has not just, shared a little bit, opened up a window, opened up a doorway for us to understand our folk artists, to learn a little bit more about them. And like I promised, I will be sharing the links in the comment section soon. So, you must follow, subscribe, and hopefully the little bit that we can do, we should do to help out our folk artisans across the country. Moving forward, this was a wonderful session, and I'm so glad that the first episode of the season has been so wonderful. We will now move on to our next segment where we talk about a LAJA growth platform member, somebody who's been part of the growth platform, somebody who has learned, somebody who has shared her experiences and enriched all the other lives as well. For those of you who don't know what the LAJA growth platform is, LAJA growth platform is an exclusive platform for women in LAJA. This is a subscription based thing, so you pay a small fee, and through the year you are taken through hand holding, mentoring, you're taken through networking, you're taken through so many learning sessions that it a package like this is not found very easily these days. So this today we are going to be talking about a wonderful person, Dr. Kasturi R. Nayak. She's an educator and a life coach specialized in emotional intelligence. Kasturi, can we have you over here? Yes. Welcome, Kasturi. Let me talk a little bit more about you. She is a recipient of the Golden Global Digital Teacher Excellence Award in 2020 by the Global Digital Academy and the Best Emotional Intelligence Council Consultant 2020 by AIM Excellence Awards. She's been conferred with the Icon Award 2019 by KDGB Committee for her enriching work in the field of emotional intelligence, personality enhancement, stress management, and leadership development. She's also been honored with an award for outstanding teacher and research excellence from leading group of journalists in the year 2019. So welcome, Kasturi. Good to see you here, and good to see that very serene Buddha right behind you. Every time you come on screen, I see that, and for a second, I take a pause to take a deep breath and calm myself. So lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Vandana. Thank you, Riddhi, and thank you to the platform, which is evolving and taking ahead so many women with them. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. It is when women like you join us that all of this also becomes possible, because like Nanni Singh said, you have to want to do something for yourself, and when you take that first step, then everything else just falls into place. So you all have heard
Absolutely.
that Dr. Kasturi is a life coach specialized in emotional intelligence, and this is a buzzword these days. Everybody's talking about emotional intelligence. So Dr. Kasturi, I want to ask you one question. What sets you apart from those in the same field?
Wow. Okay, it's a wonderful question. And like you said, EI is a buzzword. So, what sets me apart? So, first and foremost, that I am a PhD holder in this particular field of emotional intelligence, but that's just the formal education. Actually, what sets me apart is, I believe, the five mindful practices which I myself imbibe and undergo as a daily routine. And whenever I'm
Okay.
standing there in front of my audience as an educator, as a leader of the right or in the corporate world when I'm addressing the leaders, the five mindful practices is what sets me apart, and I've called it as OASIS, ASIS, which is a breathe, spot, am I audible? Am I
Okay, there
audible
seems to
and
be.
visible?
Yes, there was a network issue. You're back on now. Yes. Let us go through your mindful
Yes, perfect.
practices.
Yes, I was mentioning about OASIS, OASIS,
Okay.
where, yeah. So, is the network proper or should I?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's
So,
perfect now.
where O stands, yes, O stands for ownership. So, not
Okay.
holding others responsible for your life. That is what O stands for. A stands for
Okay.
assertiveness, respecting yourself, respecting the space of others. S stands for self esteem, having an inner sense of adequacy for yourself, respecting your own ambitions, vision, and working towards them. Then another A that stands for accountability, being accountable for your success as well as for your failures from which you keep on learning, because accountability makes you a warrior. And last
Yes.
but not the least, that is the last S stands for success. you know, choosing success, always choosing success by igniting the fire which is present in the belly of every woman or every individual to say.
Wow.
So these are the 5 mindful
Wow.
practices which I keep on, these practices I learned from the women in my own life, my mother, my grandmother, and my mother-in-law. And that is what
Lovely.
sets me apart from, my field, the people who are there in my field.
Oh, I completely vouch for this because I believe I have gone through one of your series where you used to put in these mindful practices on a daily basis. You used to post something about that. And yes, believe me, folks,
Yes.
this is a very inspiring practice to do. It's very simple, like Kasturi just explained. And I think we have to each give ourselves that chance to find that oasis within ourselves. So, thank you so much, Dr. Kasturi. It is a pleasure to have you here. All of you who are watching us, uh, let's become our own oasis. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Kasuri. Thank you to all the viewers who've been watching us. It is pleasure to come back with Laja TV, to come back with something that ignites our passion, to come back with something that makes us feel like we're doing something. So thank you. Have a lovely, lovely month ahead. We will meet you again on the 15th of the next month. And believe me, the next guest is a truly, truly remarkable inspiration. So till then, logging off, giving you all my love. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.